Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. On 13 News at noon, I'm Karen Campbell. We are following day 6 of the Delphi trial after yesterday's grueling testimony. Just a few minutes ago, we learned that a volunteer clerk testified in court that Richard Allen was in an investigation file marked cleared by police back in September of 2022. Allen went to police 2 days after the girls were found dead back in 2017 to let them know he was on the Delphi Bridge the day the girls went missing. A DNR officer testified this morning that there was nothing about Allen that stood out as unusual when he was questioned then. Abby Williams and Libby German's lives ended tragically 7.5 years ago on a trip to the Monon High Bridge. And now we are learning more about how they died. The court listened to details about the girls' autopsies, and they were shown pictures of the wounds that ultimately led to their deaths. Richard Allen is the man charged in their murders. Our Emily Longnecker breaks down what happened yesterday in Delphi to get you caught up for today. Now, there are no cameras allowed in a courtroom, which is why there is no footage from the trial.
Dr. Roland Kaur performed the autopsies that showed Abby had one large gaping wound on her neck. Libby had 3 large deep wounds on her neck. An Indianapolis State Police sergeant told the jury about the data he got off of Libby's cell phone, showing what she posted on Snapchat that day, a picture of the bridge, then a photo of Abby walking on the bridge. Sergeant Cecil testified at 2:13 Libby recorded a 43-second video of Abby walking on the bridge with someone behind her. Data from the phone also showed the phone moving and stopping at different times after that. Then at 2:39, Sergeant Cecil told the jury Libby's phone stopped moving completely. A text came into Libby's phone at 4:06 from Becky Patty, her grandmother, saying, quote, "You need to call me now." The day started with testimony from Delphi resident Sarah Carbaugh, who told the jury she saw Bridge Guy for 30 seconds, saying, quote, "I saw a man covered in mud and blood walking on the side of the road." On cross-examination, the defense showed Carbaugh transcripts from previous interviews with police, where she described the man she saw that day only as muddy, but did not mention any blood. The jury had several questions about the data taken from Libby German's phone. Some of them appeared visibly shaken earlier in the morning when the doctor was discussing their injuries seen in the autopsies. Testimony wrapped up just before 5 today, with Judge Francis Gall reminding jurors not to discuss what happened in court outside the courtroom. In Delphi, Emily Longnecker, 13 News.
Thank you, Emily. And as you can imagine, the jurors have had a tough time already seeing and listening to all of that testimony. In fact, we were told some have been visibly upset after seeing photos of the girls after they died. Our legal expert, Katie Jackson, jurors exposed to any sort of brutal imagery should be offered therapy, but it's not always practical to do.
There are so many boundaries in terms of a criminal prosecution or a criminal case, because you don't ever, neither side wants to give the appearance of offering anything to the jury in order to get a favorable verdict. So you have to be very careful about that. Even the court has to be very careful about that to ensure that they're staying within the confines of the rules.
Now, according to the National Center for State Courts, Alaska and Texas are the only states to offer therapy to jurors. And remember, testimony and evidence in this trial every weeknight at 10 o'clock. You can also watch it at 8 a.m. after our re-airing of 13 Sunrise. Our Delphi Debrief will air on the WTHR Plus streaming app. You can also find it on Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick, and Roku. All right, we are going to get you a check of our forecast. Sean Ash is joining us now, and it's a little cooler today than it was yesterday. Yeah. Differences on the way.
A little bit cooler, but still sunny.
Still sunny, which is good.
Eventually, we will pay the piper for all of this pretty spectacular autumn weather we've had thus far. But not much to pay here in the 7-day forecast, and certainly not today. But yes, as Karen noted, cooler today, as we were telling you about the passage of that front last night, but still a lot of sunshine on deck. Might have a few fair weather clouds. We're at 58 this hour. East-northeast wind, the difference maker, 5 to 10. Humidity at 46%. So temperatures at this hour closer to 60 degrees. When you take them and compare them to 24 hours ago, get 15 degrees cooler than that. But enjoying the sunshine now, and we're looking west for front number 2, showing up back across the central northern plains and it will bring us that shower chance as we go into Friday. We still expect that. Please know this is not going to be a drought buster by any stretch of the imagination here. A few spots will get some raindrops tomorrow. And they may linger, some of this may linger a little bit into the evening, but overall though, this is going to be another wimpy system for us. We'll dive into the numbers and get you ready for the weekend all ahead in the 7-day forecast.
All right, thanks, Sean. Well, just moments ago, we learned the name of a man killed in Speedway after a deadly overnight shooting. This happened just after midnight along Norfolk Street near West 10th and Lyndhurst Drive. Police tell us that's where they found 28-year-old Lawrence DeMarcus Eccles III Truitt shot to death in a car riddled with bullet holes. Right now, 13 News is working to learn what led up to the gunfire and who police are searching for. We will keep you posted once we learn more. And at this hour, 13 News is working to get more information about a person hit after a crash on Indy's South Side. Now, we know that pedestrian was critically injured around 7 o'clock last night on Meridian Street near Stop 11 Road. Police say the driver is providing a blood sample for analysis, but they say they do not believe the driver was impaired at the time of the crash. And this afternoon, city leaders are pushing to keep people on foot and on bicycles safe around the city. This comes after that pedestrian was hit last night. And they are just one of dozens hit by cars just this year. Our Logan Gay was there for the first public meeting of the Vision Zero Task Force. That's a group aimed at ending these kinds of injuries and fatalities.
Since this is the first public meeting for the Vision Zero Task Force, they focus mostly on introducing the members and laying out the process and the next steps to implement the plan. Task Force Chair Don Barr says Wednesday's meeting is the first step of many to accomplish the Vision Zero goal of eliminating traffic fatalities by 2035. Just in August, 103 pedestrians were hit by drivers in Indianapolis. 7 of those people died.
There's a lot of really important work that needs to happen between now and that date, really focused on getting our action plan up and running so we can include our strategies in the budget for next year.
The task force introduced its members and laid out its plans for next steps. They also introduced Vision Zero consultant Maria Cantrell. She was a Vision Zero coordinator for the city of Columbus, Ohio. Barth says the experience the consultants provide will help them figure out what will work best for our city.
That is really going to bring together a lot of experience from other cities. So our consultants will be saying, this is how Columbus, Ohio does it. This is how New York does it. This is how Hoboken does it. So we can learn those lessons and infuse the things that we really think are best practices and put them into our plan.
Barth says community engagement will be vital.
Vision Zero doesn't work unless you have the support of the community.
Connie Zasbo-Schmucker with Bicycle Garage Indy says that's exactly why she attended the meeting.
Right now, there are a lot of people who are not getting home safely, whether they're walking or biking or going to transit or in a car. And in improving our roadways and improving the roadways so everybody can get home safely should be important for everybody.
One of her co-workers was hit and killed while riding his bike 3 years ago. She says making the roads safer for pedestrians and cyclists will also help drivers. They plan to have another meeting in December, and at that meeting, they'll allow public comment. In Marion County at the CCB, Logan Gay, 13 News.
Thank you, Logan. Well, right now, 70,000 FFA members are in downtown Indianapolis for their annual convention, but getting there was a challenge for some students this year after losing their homes last month to flooding from Hurricane Helene. The chapter in Irwin, Tennessee didn't know if they'd make it to the convention until the National FFA stepped in to help pay for their trip. Lainey Rogers from the Irwin chapter says going to the convention helps escape from the hard times back home.
It's really amazing considering the circumstances just to be able to get a little bit of normalcy and to kind of defy the odds and be able to go to national convention despite everything happening at home.
And since the hurricane, the Irwin chapter has been helping their town by cleaning up farms and volunteering in shelters. The convention wraps up here Saturday.